What's going on, family? Welcome back to another Real Talk. I pray all is well with everybody and that you are having a blessed day as we off top. Give the Most High all the honor, the glory, and all praise and worship. I'm going to just simply title this video, The Way I Was Brought Up. This is a video response back to you, Tequila One. What I'm about to say in this video, I know a lot of black people will get offended because some of the things I'm about to say. And that's fine, because I'm always speaking truth and it hurts feelings. But once again, I'm not talking about everybody in my race, but there are a lot of us, you grew up the way I did. And that's why I want to use that title, The Way We Was Brought Up. As a youngster, when you growing up, you watch your parents very closely. And I'm not saying nothing in this video to disrespect my parents in no kind of way. My parents know I'm telling the truth. They watch me all the time. Big shout out to Mama JT and Papa JT. But when I was young, growing up, coming out the hood, growing up in the hood, we saw a lot, went through a lot. And when you young and you see the finances of your parents, the struggle of what your parents go through. And it happens generation after generation after generation after generation. The living from paycheck to paycheck. The struggle. I grew up watching my mom, she'll put X and X amount of dollars on this bill to keep the rest of the money to just go try to get groceries. Or something else. And it was rough, but we never went without. Let me say that. And then so many of my people that grew up like me was not, let me say it like this, they did not have both parents in the house. And even a lot that had both parents still struggled, but not all struggled like that. And it becomes a part of you that, see, this is why I'm like I am now in a good way, why I'm so appreciative of anything I get. Because when I was young, I would get my big brother's hand-me-downs. And I would, if my twin brother wasn't wearing this no more, I would get it from him. Or if Carlos, which was a good friend of ours back then, Carlos had a lot of clothes, shoes, I would get his stuff and wear it to school like it was mine brand new. The eating the beans and weenie growing up, the food that we ate, the processed meat. I mean, yeah, we did what we could do. We ate what we could eat that they could afford. Like I said, I'm not saying this to damn my mom and dad in no kind of way. It's just what it was growing up. And that does something to you as a youngster. And then you'll see other families who are well off. When we was in elementary school, everybody had new stuff. And the ones who struggle like us, we could relate to each other. You look at everybody else with their new stuff. And I'm not saying that my mom and them didn't get us new stuff, but by the time we got new stuff, especially when it was Christmas time, let me say it like that, and my mom was smart because she would wait till after Christmas, because after Christmas is when the sales would come on and you can really go get stuff cheap. But I'm saying all that to say, the way you was brought up has a lot to do with the way you are now. Because you either learn from that to do better, or you'll learn how to be in that, not learn because you already know it, you'll be in that same struggle. Now let's keep it real. When you're in the hood, what happens is the government, when the fathers wasn't around, let me say daddies wasn't around, Bible say, call no one good but the father. I don't like to use the word father. When I was a single mom and had help for the grandma was helping, that's how a lot of kids was brought up. But once the man is out of the house, the provider especially is gone, then the government, what do our people do? Like, it ain't just our people, I'm just talking about our people in this video. You fall for the system. So the government becomes your husband. The government becomes your provider. The government becomes your teacher in so many ways. And the more and more the government gives you, the more and more the government gonna try their best to take from you. Y'all remember back in the day, you had that thick government cheese, Section 8, food stamps. Back then you had them food stamps that looked like money. And a lot of women didn't want to get on that. And then a lot of women say, I ain't got no choice. So that becomes your system. You depend on that because you already living from paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck. Just, we used to say J-O-B, a job, just over barely. You working hard just enough to get right back broke because once you pay for everything. So as I grew up, see, I've been having jobs for years. We was working when we was young. I used to say, man, I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to struggle this way. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And then I look around and see how so many of my people's priorities are so mixed up. Not being a good steward, not taught stewardship, not taught how to put back for yourself, not taught how to save, not taught how to invest. So I would look at the stupidity of my people. Young men, I always want the real. Man, oh, that car look good. You spend such and such money on getting the rims on the car so the car can look good on the outside, but then the motor is all messed up. You need work on the motor. Car look good, but barely can make it down the street. Priorities mixed up. Men who would go get them grills, spend all that money on them gold teeth, and you wouldn't even put that much money on your real teeth. Priorities mixed up. Because you're looking for a show, an outer appearance. And then what happens is the gambling. The gambling habits get worse and worse and worse. You already struggling, so y'all feel me on this. And it ain't just in our race of people. I'm just talking about my race. Y'all don't take what I say the wrong way. But then it becomes, man, I had the scratch offs. To go into the casino, the lottery, hoping that you can hit big. But in all that hoping, you talking about years and years of money lost. That money that went on the lotto to the casino could have went on stacking back, could have went on saving for something else. And when you trying to come up, it's hard to come up when you continue to play catch up. So it becomes year after year after year after year after year after year, and it messes with your mindset. You watch what your parents do, and 9 times out of 10, according to how many children you got, somebody gonna follow down the same road of what their parents done. And I'm not saying it to be disrespectful. And then I can't say this in this video without throwing this in there. The habits. See, in my race of people, we so quick to talk about how broke we are. But then if you look at all the money you spend on the habits, the drinking, the cigarettes, the going to the casinos, the lotto tickets, all that money adds up year after year after year after year. And you got to really sit up and ask yourself, are you really that broke? Or are you just really that more messed up of a steward? In the way life feels now, surviving and living, man, you got to really be making some money nowadays to make it living in this life. And I'm not saying that to say live above your means. I'm saying everything has went up. You name it, cost of living, groceries, gas, whether you got a mortgage or renting, everything have went up sky high. And when you live paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, that frustrates you. So when I got older, I started looking at when the Bible say your gift make room for you. And I've learned to always have more than one income. My wife always tells me, that's what I love about you. I've learned that I don't want to be broke. Now, am I rich? No. Is it tough? Yes. But you think about a lot of our older people that work. And they worked all their life and they died and didn't hardly leave nothing. This is why it's so important to have your helpmeet. It's tough out here being single. I know, because I was single for a long time. It's tough out here for a marriage couple if you ain't making, ends meet. But you got to realize you can't be trying to live up here when you making right here. And I've learned also in this life, it ain't so much about how much money I make, but what I do with what I have. See, growing up, I would take the job that nobody want. A lot of people laugh at my Latino brothers and sisters. I would take that job cleaning them bathrooms. Hell, I still clean now. That's one of my jobs now. But I wouldn't be so, my pride wouldn't get in my, I ain't finna go clean up no boo-boo and all that. I did it. Did it more than once. And I was learning how to be content while the situation was where it was at, knowing that I wasn't gonna always be there. And you take that money, I don't care if it's little, you stack it, try not to touch it. And then when you do your other little job, you put all this stuff together, and next thing you know, you got a truck, you got a car. You don't have no note. It got to start up here. Some of us know, some of us know good and well we making more money than our parents ever had. You driving a vehicle better than your mama and daddy ever had. You staying in the house better than your mom and daddy ever had. Because back then, they didn't need much. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. The older generation did not need much. And they wasn't caring about all this stuff like the new generation care about a lot of times. And I'm not saying everybody's like that. Because you think about it. Little old 2-bedroom house. How I was brought up, they made it work. You in that little hot house, barely got a piece of an air conditioner working, trying to cool the whole house off, cutting on fans, box fans in the window. Y'all know how it was back then. Trying your best to keep cool. I remember coming home and the water off. I remember old man going out there getting that water key, illegally turning that water back on. I remember seeing my neighbors, we all running extension cords to each other's house because Uncle Sugar and them lights was out. Old boy coming down in the hood to rig up your meter so you ain't got to pay that much on your electric bill. See, one thing about black folks, the more stuff they came out with, the more we figured out how to go around it and rig it up. Back then, we would call it nigger rigging. So according to how you was brought up, it does do something to you in life. Like what I said, you either going, hey, I don't want to be like they was growing up. You either going to find a better way or you're going to live exactly like they did. You're going to paycheck to paycheck. And you're going to get to a point where you're tired of paycheck to paycheck and you're going to do something about it. And then what did that do to the average young boy? He started selling dope. Most of them was raised by their grandmother. And man, I don't want to see my grandma. Grandma on a fixed income, so didn't really want to get in the dope game. But now the dope game got you. Now you looking over your shoulder every night. You turn to the streets. And now your house is in danger. You in danger. Somebody snitching on you. You done got busted selling drugs. Up, now here comes the system again. The penitentiary system, the prison system that's designed for you to fail, black man. You get in that, once you're in it, boy, it's hard to get out of. Now you got a background, a record. Now it's extra hard for you to get a job. And you get out and come right back to the same hood, the same ghetto, the same place that you got in trouble where it put you in the jail or prison. And the coming along with that is your babies, your children. How many baby daddies are locked up? How many baby daddies are in the grave? How many more children gonna grow up without their father? It's sad. But you live and you learn from it. I'm straight out the hood. I'm straight out the hood. And I've seen the hood fall all the way down. The crack when it hit back then. Brothers selling dope to their own mamas. Dope fiends in the alley giving head. Crack bags all over the ground. Little kids running in the field. Like that scene on New Jack City when them kids was out there playing on their playground. All them needles and crack bags in the field. Same way it was with us over here. The shootouts. The drugs, the violence. Our people have been broke down for a long time. But as I close this video, I'm going to ask you, what have you done different? If you was brought up like this, did you learn from what you saw growing up, or are you following down the same pattern and complaining and getting mad? And let me say this, stop acting like somebody owe you something. Get past that. Quit blaming it on the white man. It's time to be past all that. Because as long as you keep going around doing that, you're still stuck in that mindset. There's help out here. There's the right people to be around. And I guarantee you, the Most High will show you who to be around. And with that being said, y'all have a blessed day. Shalom.